Hello, you're all very welcome. My name is Maeve McCormack, and today I'm going to be talking to Josephine McGread, who is the coordinator of the Adult Education Guidance Service at the MSLETB. That's the Mayo, Leitrim, Sligo Education and Training Board. What we're going to be talking today is what the MSLETB can offer the unemployed. Josephine, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Maeve.
First thing I'm going to ask you, Josephine, is can you tell us in general terms, what does the MSLETB offer to the unemployed?
Wonderful. The MSLETB is the Mayo Sligo Leitrim Education and Training Board, and we are one of the 16 education and training boards throughout Ireland. So whatever I speak about today that's happening in MSLETB, it would be happening throughout Ireland in your local ETB. So anybody looking on from Cork or Limerick or Clare, these services are available with your local ETB. What do we offer? We offer a wide variety of courses in education and training. The courses can be accredited or non-accredited, so a person can leave with a well-recognised qualification. The courses start with basic literacy skills and digital skills. So for an adult who's coming back to education, maybe struggled with writing or their mathematics or maybe limited in computer skills, we provide courses to start at that level. And our courses the majority of our courses go up to about level 6, which is parallel to the first year of a degree. The courses are offered part-time, which is morning, afternoon and evening, and we also offer full-time courses. A full list of the courses are available on fetchcourses.ie or look up the MSLETB website.
Lovely. So fetchcourses.ie, we'll put that web address up at the end of this conversation. Now, you've mentioned a huge variety of courses, Josephine, and it's quite overwhelming the amount you have. And certainly there's all these different names. I'm hearing PLCs, apprenticeships, traineeships, and the different sort of amounts of times you can spend on a course. How does somebody know which one to apply for? How do they figure that out?
Oh, I can appreciate it, that it can be very confusing for the public. But when a person makes contact with us, they will be informed and advised of the different options of what is most suitable to their needs. Maybe what a person needs to consider when they're coming to the MSLETB or thinking of returning to education or training, what is it they want to do? And would they be wanting to do it full-time or part-time? And for many people, they wouldn't have a clue what they want to do. And that's okay too, because we provide a guidance service and they will be given the opportunity to meet with an adult guidance counsellor to discuss their possibilities and options.
Okay, so not just courses, but guidance on which course suits you to progress your career to get you back into employment. That sounds really good. So if someone is unemployed, how are they fixed then if they do apply to do a course? What funding supports are available to them if they go back to education with the MSLETB?
Let's keep it simple as possible. We have many people on the pandemic unemployment benefit at the moment in our country. And they may never have been unemployed before and wondering, what next? Maybe they have no job to go back to or whatever. I want to make it clear here today that it is possible for people to have a social welfare payment and participate in a full-time course, all free of charge. That may be possible for many, many people, not only a full-time course, but a part-time course. So a person could be on social welfare benefit and get full-time education free of charge. But it depends on each individual person. And that's where they would be recommended maybe to come to the adult guidance service and we would provide that information to them. Now, for someone who's, for example, let me just talk about someone who's in a pandemic unemployment benefit. Before this interview this morning, I checked with our local Entro office and they have confirmed with me that this pandemic unemployment benefit is a recognised unemployment payment or period. That is very, very important for somebody who's unemployed and thinking of coming back to education full time. because the person may qualify then for the back to education allowance. Now, I know this might be a little bit confusing for people, but I would always say if a person is thinking about that, and to know that could be an option for them, that to check with their local entry office to make sure, do they qualify for the back to education allowance, because they are the organising body that does it. Or if they want, before they go to entry office, they're welcome to maybe to contact their local Citizens Advice Bureau or our information officer here at the Adult Guidance Service in each ETB.
So plenty of sources of information from the guidance section of the MSLETB, Josephine, and other sections as well. So if a person is looking to get support in going back to education and they've worked out, what they're entitled to or what they want to do, how do they get further guidance from the MSLETB or any ETB in the country?
Okay, first good contact would be to contact the Adult Educational Guidance Service in the ETB, and they will meet with the information officer, and the information officer will be able to give them advice on all courses that are on offer that may be suitable to them, but not only within the ETB in their local area, but maybe elsewhere. Information on all educational providers locally and abroad. Not only that, they'll be able to advise them on funding available, funding maybe to do the course, or if the course is free, other funding supports, maybe such as childcare or travelling allowance. And in addition to that, the information officer in each adult educational guidance service will have knowledge of a wide variety of platforms of where jobs are advertised. Sometimes people don't know where to look to get a job. So they're advertised in a wide variety of platforms, and the information officer will be able to provide that. And then in addition to that, in the Adult Educational Guidance Service, a person does have the opportunity to meet with a guidance counsellor to discuss and explore what skills and talents they have and how that could be carried further into education, upskilling, or move into employment.
Okay, so it sounds like a meeting with the guidance counsellor is a really good starting point, looking at what experience you have to date, what direction you want to take. I know you've mentioned there, say, people on COVID payment, but maybe the jobs that they are now not working at may not re-emerge again. So there's opportunities there to get new training or further training. And you have talked about people on unemployment benefit and how they can avail of training. What about someone, say, who has done extensive training already, but maybe has a degree or something, but can't get work in the field that they've studied? Do you have any supports in that area or suggestions?
Yeah, a person like this comes to me quite often. And this is where a person maybe would benefit from meeting an adult educational guidance counsellor. And a person wishing to explore possibilities of developing their education, maybe, they have the degree and it's not what they want to do. And that's okay. That's very normal. Many people are in that situation. So what we would do is we would sit down together and explore, what do they have? What took them into the degree? Was there any skills or talents that they had that they enjoyed while they were studying? And how could we maybe invite the person to think outside the box, look at the wider horizons and see what might be possible for them? A small example was just yesterday evening, I had a phone call from a young woman in her 30s who had studied architecture for about a year or 4 years ago, never returned to education, and is now thinking, I'll have to do something. But she's clear she doesn't want to do architecture. So after we had the long discussion, she decided maybe CAD technician. And we have discovered that there is a CAD technician course, not within our own ETB, but elsewhere. And she's considering that CAD technician course for her further career. So there's great opportunities to think outside the box, what skills and talents the person does have, and how can they use that for another job. And I can assure people, there are always opportunities and choices.
Josephine, opportunities and choices, I think, is a key message that you're giving today, and also that it's for people whatever their employment experience, whether they have any or they have none or they have years of experience, and also whatever their education qualifications or what they might feel is a lack of education qualifications. I mean, you really covered, that, okay, the last person you talked about was someone who has a degree, but you're also working with people who maybe didn't finish their education in secondary school, or who maybe started a course and didn't finish it. So there seems to be something for everybody there. I suppose the first port of call is just to give you a call or to email you or contact you in some way to just start the initial discussion. No strings attached, just find out what the opportunities are. So is there any final message you want to give to somebody maybe who is watching this conversation with you, who is currently unemployed? What would you say to them?
If it's okay with you, Maeve, I'd love to tell a little story. And
Sure.
Sometimes by telling the story of the individual, it highlights maybe for a person listening today what might be possible for them. Some time ago, I met a young man in his 40s. He came to me for one-to-one guidance. He had been a labourer, a builder on a building site in England for quite a number of years, was home now for about 2 years, and he was just clear that he didn't want to go back onto the sites. He felt he had enough of that. So whenever we got talking and about his school in his early days, that you talked about the early learning days, he said he didn't really enjoy school because he felt he was told he was a slow learner, and he always had that in the back of his mind. And one day he happened to say to somebody, I wouldn't mind being a nurse. And they said, oh no, that's never possible. So that thought went out of his mind in his very young years, which was a pity in a way. However, whenever we got talking, he started to become very alive again, that the possibility that maybe he could be working that field of caring for people. And whenever I was listening to him, he was talked about his grandmother had lived with him. And whenever he was young, he enjoyed caring for his mother. Anyway, we got started and he started to study healthcare studies. And he was doing well and he was all excited. However, third module in hit the brick wall. He just found the studies so difficult and felt that old pain in the tummy where he was coming back from his early childhood days of studying. Came into me and said, I told you I was a slow learner. I can always remember that phrase. I listened anyway and realised, okay, we're going to give you extra support. He was assessed as dyslexic. With us, while he was studying, he got extra support. He started to get back into the study, build his confidence, and he completed his level 5, not only that, level 6. And this young man, who is now about 44, 45, is in his 3rd year of a nursing degree. So he never thought it was possible. As a young lad, he was told it wasn't possible. But it's amazing what is possible. So just you asked, what would I do at the end? Anybody listening here today, I know some people have hit a brick wall, maybe become unemployed. It's not easy being in that place, but use this opportunity to start living a new dream or revisiting your own dream and make use of our adult educational guidance service in the GTB.
Josephine, thank you very much for that. It's been inspiring. So I urge anybody to give Josephine or her office a call, and the details are here at the end of this interview. Thanks, Josephine.
Thank you very much, Mary.